Hey there, it's Shauna. Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast for September 3rd. So this week is about tapping into higher potential. This week we have a new moon in Virgo and we have a lot of Neptune energy going on as well. So Neptune and Virgo are both really about tapping into the highest potential, your highest potential, and what it is that you're moving toward. So I'm excited to share with you the astrology of this week. As always, I have 3 tips for you to make the most out of this week. So let's get started. First, we have, all of these aspects that I'm speaking about will be happening later in the week. So I want you to think about we're moving towards the peak of these kinds of energies. So on Friday, Mercury will trine Uranus and Saturn. And Mercury is about thought process, communication. It's about your intellect. And when Mercury, your intellect, thought process, new information, new data, makes a harmonious aspect to Saturn, this can mean a new awareness around practical things. When it makes a trine harmonious aspect to Uranus, it can mean changing a system, changing something. So I feel like this aspect is around having a new practical awareness about something. Maybe you get some new information. Maybe things just click into place logically. Maybe you have a really stimulating conversation with someone. I don't know. But especially around Friday and like Thursday, Friday, I want you to pay attention to the data that you're getting, the thoughts that you're having, and to really use your skills as far as like critical thinking, reaching out to others, having conversations, and where that leads you in your mind. The other thing happening this week is the Sun will oppose Neptune. So we have the Sun in Virgo opposite Neptune in Pisces. And so whenever the Sun is opposite Neptune, it kind of creates this like dreamy and unclear kind of effect. It can have us question our boundaries, question who we are. The Sun is your ego, your identity. It's really related to the individual personality. And not in a bad way, but like the healthy sense of ego that we need in order to move through the world. So when this part, this symbol is opposite Neptune, Neptune is about dissolving the ego and dissolving boundaries. So it can kind of feel like, who am I? What am I doing in the world? So it might feel kind of like very different than the Mercury-Uranus energy. So I just want you to notice what it is that you're tapping into. Are you feeling very clear about something, or is there a part of you that is like questioning everything at the same time? Maybe a little bit of both. And then the last thing that's happening this week is we have a new moon in the sign of Virgo. And so this is happening at 17 degrees of Virgo, and it's exact on Sunday at 11:01 a.m. Pacific time on Grandparents' Day in the US, if you're interested. So what's interesting about this new moon is, by its very nature, it's also tapping into this Sun opposite Neptune energy as well, because it will be opposite Neptune. So new moons are a time of new beginning, a time of initiation. It's a time of introspection. And it's not necessarily the time when you take action to start a new thing or you feel motivated to start a new thing, but it's this little inkling of wanting to start a new thing, or like feeling into something that you want to start working on. Or even just a new mindset as well. This being in the sign of Virgo, it's probably going to be more practical matters. Virgo is an earth sign and it's a mutable sign, so it's about changing things. Virgo, as an energy, likes to take things apart and then put them back together. There's a heavy focus on improvement and working towards an ideal, towards what it is that is the most beautiful, the most perfected, the most useful form of something. And so I want you to think about that during this new moon, as well as it's what is your highest potential and how can you hold where you're at now while also working towards that at the same time. So I have 3 tips for you to really tap into this energy. Tip number 1 is I want you to think about what you're building. So the energy this week is very much around a new awareness of your potential and what it is that you're moving towards, or maybe even like a particular project. But I want you to think about what it is that you're building, especially because we have this really beautiful harmonious aspect between Mercury and Saturn and Uranus. This is very much like supportive of you taking steps towards something that you're building. Saturn is about building things. Tip number 2, I want you to ask, what defines you? And so this is a Sun-Neptune question. What is it that defines your essence? And I want you to contemplate this that week, because that's going to help ground you when there is this Sun-Neptune energy. Super helpful, especially for you if you are having a Neptune transit. Like if Neptune is making an aspect to any of your personal planets, your sun, your moon, Venus, Mercury, etc. This is going to tap into you at a more personal level because you're already having that Neptune aspect. So what is it that defines you? Is it your values? Is it your role in the world? Is it your individual qualities that make you special? There's no right answer to this question, but it's a good meditation for this week. Tip number 2 is I want you to let go of expectations, because whenever we have Neptune involved, Sun and Neptune, whenever we have Virgo involved, in this case it's a new moon in Virgo, there can be a lot of expectations on how things should be, or how it is that you want things to be, or again, like the highest potential. So whenever we talk about Neptune or Virgo or even Pisces, I'm really curious as to ways in which we can strive towards greatness and ways in which we can strive towards improvement and the ideal while still honoring what it is that's happening right now. And I find that people that have maybe their natal moon in the sign of Virgo, they're very critical of everything. And that can be for better or for worse. It can be very motivating, and it can make them like really excellent leaders and workers, very ambitious, and masters at their craft, masters in life. And it can also create like kind of a certain sense of like rejecting oneself, because it can be disappointing when you're not meeting your ideal. So I want you to, as much as you can, be gentle with yourself and let go of expectations. So still like striving for something, but in yoga philosophy, this is known as non-attachment. So that is your horoscope for this week. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please share it with someone who you think would enjoy it as well. If you want to connect with me more, I'm still taking a little break from social media, but you can connect with me on my website under Neo-Feminine Astrology. And if you want to get my little cheat sheet for the moon cycles this week on what sign the moon is going to be in, this week you can sign up on my website, Neo-Feminine Astrology. And of course, I have Astro for Empaths, a 6-week course experience that I will be launching soon. It'll be starting September 22nd. And so I have, finally, thank you for your patience. I have a little sign-up link on my website on Neo-Feminine Astrology, and it has little details about what to expect, and you can sign up. Or if you just want to be on the interest list and get more information about when the cutoff date is and ask me any other questions, you can email me at shaunamcgrath@gmail.com. So that's all for this week. I'm wishing you a wonderful week, sending lots of love, and I'll talk to you soon. Namaste.